We're back. We're not gonna dox anyone. We're gonna have a good stream. Shut up. Mm. The permanence of this medium is it's really intimate. I not super used to it. Bow bow. Okay, it says excellent, so we'll see. Now, there's like one specific thing that I thought like I could build. I don't know. It's hard for me to. Let's stop scrolling through all the bullshit. Uh, it's hard for me to build momentum. Maybe is the word. I don't know. I'm looking for momentum. In life, I guess. I don't know. But I don't know. It feels so weird to like just like come on here and just be like, "Hey, I just popped up on the fucking scene, and I'm gonna say what it is." You know? Uh, I. You know how like jujitsu, like there's always the person that starts on top and the person that starts on the bottom, and like they kind of like dance with each other, and then like one of them like ends up being. It's harder to like start on the from the bottom position than it is from the top position. And I generally like starting from that position. I don't like coming into a room and being like but you know. And it's kind of the same here. Not only like I would like a little bit more experience before I would like to tackle some of these issues, like some of these like bigger things. Um, I don't know, cause like it's not that I don't know a lot of these things, but a lot of the time these things don't come up until they need to be brought up, and then at the same time you can't always like pull that from the brain, you know? Like you can't I don't know. The whole debate scene is scares me a little bit if I'm being honest. But yeah. So right now I'm just going to try to like practice building some sort of narrative, I guess, like going through I have to figure out how to one thing I decided is I think I'm going to try to build no like one of my friends said that like it feels like I'm trying to like justify my ideology or something along those lines, and he was right to an extent, and like it got me thinking. I think I want to focus a little bit more on like what policy, like what can we do, or what the issues are within the system that like those little cracks, you know. um like and one thing, like I'm not gonna lie, like I tend to be like a relatively abrasive person. Like I'm not there's a lot of social norms and niceties that we adhere to because of social norms or just that's the way things work or whatever. But like a lot of the times, like when I'm talking to friends and stuff, like that, like okay, I can speak in metaphors really, really well, but when I'm like talking to my friends, they tend to do that, but they tend to be super fickle about what they want to get out or what they want to do, or like they kind of like throw like a snide remark or something like that, and I tend to just like look at them and be like, "What's the point? Like what is the thing that we're trying to get at here?" So like I tend to um I tend to be a little bit more abrasive than most. Like it's not I'm not super like even when I was in the corporate like climbing like working like a corporate job, I would say, but like I never been good at that. Whatever. But yeah, but I want to focus on a little bit like some like more policy based as far as everything goes cuz I think the ideology like one of the things I have to remember that cuz like one of the things that whenever I go out into like the real world like outside, not just my desk, not just my computer. Um hanging out with friends, hanging out with family, all that kind of stuff, I always have to remind myself that at the end of the day, regardless of whatever they think of me, not so much family, but like friends that I'm not as close to, I I have to remember that they um what they think like at the end of the day, like we're only hanging out for like let's say an hour or two or three. At the end of the day, I get to go home and I get to be at peace with myself because I don't generally feel bad about myself unless I get let people like get into my brain and stuff, but usually it's I get to go home and I get to relax and I get to just do my thing because I know my thing works like at least for me. So but yeah, um I think I need to treat this place like that a little bit more because like I said, like the permanence of this place seems really intimate. It almost seems like people hold on to signifiers so much, and you have to be careful of what you do because they'll leech onto something. Not that I care, because like I said, like at the end of the day, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna unplug, I'm gonna go do my own thing. But there's people that I respect, people that I want to learn from. There's people that I want to, they're doing the things that I'm interested in. So, but they don't like me or my attitudes. You know, they don't know who the fuck I am, but they will one day, maybe, hopefully, we'll see. Hmm. This stream is a goddamn mess, dude. Should I delete this? Should I end it? End it right now? Alright, let's talk about my bullshit. I've seen this talked about like 2 times already, but I refuse to remember anything, so we're gonna watch it together. And then we're gonna talk about some things, because I have a take on it. I had opinions,
I think
okay?
the problem that we've had is that we have
Wait, is this
people
muted?
decided they didn't really
Oh,
want to work so
haha.
much. I think the problem that we've had is that we have people decided they didn't really want to work so much anymore through COVID, and that has had a massive issue on productivity. Tradies have definitely pulled back on productivity. They have been paid a lot to do not too much in the last few years, And we need to see that change. We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40, 50%, in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people
Okay.
that they work for the employer.
Dude is a psychopath. Let's just start
And
off
we need
right
to see
there.
that change. We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40, 50%, in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. I mean, there's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around. So it's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what
That's so. Why are you not?
the whole global,
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
as opposed to the other way
I'm
around.
gonna
So
freak out.
it's a
Hmm. Never forget, we're extremely lucky to have our employers. Okay, if they were to disappear tomorrow, we would not show up to work, like at all. You know, we don't have families to feed. We don't have things to do. We just wouldn't show up. You know, always remember that. Yeah.
we need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. I mean, there's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around. So it's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to do. The governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment.
One of the funniest things that when I see like these types of things, um, is like they're never trying to convince people like me or you or whoever may be watching this in the future. I don't know. Like they're never talking to us. They're always talking to people that are in the same like level. Like if you hear what he's saying, like he's saying,
The world is trying to do, the governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment to get that to some sort of normality. And we're extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around. So it's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the.
yeah. So like he's like, listen, man, the only way to break the spirit of the worker is to kill the economy. And I know it's gonna suck for us. I know it's gonna suck for us. Short term though. Short term. Once they're destitute, once they're starving, that's when we hit them. That's when we get our power back, and we can fuck them even more. We can fuck them even more. Like, can't you guys see? We need to ruin the economy. Fuck. Yeah. It's fucking.
Economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to do. The governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment to get that to some sort of normality. And we're seeing it. I think every employer now is seeing it. I mean, there is definitely massive layoffs going off. People might not be talking about it,
Most
but
of the
people are
layoffs have
definitely
been in like
laying.
I'd say white collar or blue collar workers, not blue collar. Mostly in white collar, like all the coders that got hired on during COVID, all the programmers, like all those work from home jobs. They're not the work that is being laid off. Like all the work that maintains the infrastructure of the country is continuing to stay how it is. Um, yeah, cause we kind of need that. It's those poofy jobs, the ones that circulate off of like the fake money, the excess money. Or that's a bad way to phrase it, because like advanced economies don't just operate off of energy trades and all that kind of stuff. Like you need to have more advanced things, but that's mostly the people that are suffering. It's not the people that are working in warehouse jobs, construction, infrastructure, the plumbing of civilization building, basically. Outside of I don't. The word escapes me. Fuck it. I don't know. But yeah.
People off, and we're starting to see less arrogance in the employment market, and that has to continue because that will
Less
cascade
arrogance
across
in
the
the
cost base.
employment market. I hate when people say that they just would never want to talk about COVID again, because like I think that that's such a like just for like a moment in time, all of like the world stopped, like basically to a slow, like the very big slowdown, like the momentum of the entire project just stopped, you know, um, and in that moment we were reminded of our humanity, of our dignity, of all these things that like for a brief moment in time we weren't a cog in the machine, and we got to spend time with family, and sure it was not good for a lot of people, but I don't want to say people weren't prepared, like because you it's very hard to know how to navigate something like that ever, unless you're like really good at the crises, yeah. um and yeah, but I don't know, like for a moment we started like baking bread, we started doing all that type of shit. uh it was nice, it was nice. We were able to take a little breather from this, and to them that's the workers taking power, because you have to remember, like, it's not just work, like life, like these people only think of things in that, like, the brains are jello pretty much, like they're thinking of fucking the plumbing of the United States, and how it works. They're thinking of, they're not thinking of, like when you clock into work, and like when you go into a new job and like they give you a serialized number, like that's basically how you kind of have to like detach yourself from the macroeconomics of a situation, like, and the humanity. You have to detach your humanity from it. I feel, so it's very hard to. God, maybe I am a centrist. Listen, if I'm a centrist, my Overton window is like fucking. Okay, I'm back. That was a bad joke. The fuck was I talking about? Okay, just because I can empathize with these people doesn't mean that I agree with what they're saying. Like that, it's obviously fucking batshit insane. I mean, inflation isn't gonna go away. Who? Wait, where is he from? Where's he? Anybody know where he's from? Why would I go to the comments to look for that?
I think the problem that we've had is that
Okay, none of
yeah,
that.
we,
Stop. Oh, he apologized? He ain't sorry. He's Australian. Uh, deeply regretted his. No, he didn't. Like that. Like he was talking to his buddies. He wasn't. Maybe he's a plant, getting us ready for it. I mean, like the economy is pretty stretched thin. Like it's. I'm pretty impressed with what Powell's been able to do with it, and just policies and everything. But anyways, what was I what was I talking about? Okay, okay. yeah. AOC, a reminder that major CEOs have skyrocketed their own pay so much that the ratio to CEO pay is now at some of the highest levels ever recorded. It's always at some of the highest levels ever recorded. We do nothing to change it. Like that's the point. Like that's the thing. That's the that's the thing. Um I think like their pay is like 26 times more than us. Like the saying is usually like boss makes a dollar, make a dime. But I saw a meme was like boss makes $26.10 and you make a dime. Hmm. I'm still waiting for my raise. Still waiting for my raise. Where's my fucking raise? They said we were gonna get a raise in like August, and then September now. No raise. Hmm. Haha, demons. Sora. Kingdom Hearts is a good show. Name video game. Okay, what was I gonna talk about this? I had some notes. I had some notes. Uh, who the fuck? Why would I get that notification? Okay. Yes. So, yeah, I want to talk about the poverty line. I did no prior search to anything. This is I'm gonna try to look it up. I'm gonna try to build a narrative by looking up things that I know I saw in the past. Um, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Bow, bow. Just gonna move this over here real quick. What am I looking at? What am I looking up? How many how many like as a percentage, how many Americans do you guys think live in abject poverty in the United States? I'll wait. I'll wait on my zero people in this chat right now, and I'll wait for you guys to answer this. So take your time. Okay, so according to census.gov, oh, this just released. Wow. Okay, 2 days ago. Cool. Announced today that the real median household income fell in comparison to 2021. Okay. The official poverty rate is 11.5, was not statistically different between 2021 and 2022. That's a little impressive. I would expect that to go a little bit up just with inflation. The supplement poverty measurement (SPM), great band, great band. In 2022 was 12.4, an increase of 4. Okay, 4.6% percentage points from 2021. This is the first increase in the overall SPM poverty rate since 2010. Meanwhile, 92.1% of the U.S. population had health insurance coverage for blah, 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 blah. Anyways, okay, so the poverty rate is 11.5%, uh, and that is for all Americans. So all the United States. So that is we have 300 million people. 10% is 30 million. So 30 million people living in abject poverty right now. What do you think the poverty? What do you think what do you think the measurement is for that? Well, I got it right here for you, boys. For an individual in 2022, you had to make 1359 to be above the poverty line. Now I don't know about you, but I can't survive off of $1,000 a month. 1458 on 2023. Um, but yeah, so this the poverty line hasn't really changed a whole lot over the years. So this is the statistic that they use to measure that. So we know how bad poverty is inside of the United States. We know how bad like we see tent cities in in all of our cities now. Like there's not a single town in America I think that doesn't have that. And obviously that is a symptom of a failure inside of our system. Um, so I personally believe that I mean, it's not just a personal belief. This is a fair assessment. This is a fair deduction that nobody is surviving off of this. If they are, it's artificially deflated. It's an artificial number. Um, I think it's a lot higher than this. I think maybe people could survive off of uh double this, and that's maybe just barely. Like that's 2 grand a month. But yeah, I don't know. Like to me, the fact that he's saying this, the fact that he's saying that bu- 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 that after COVID, we had to they have to rein back their power. Um, it's it's ridiculous because for years, literal years, the wages were um artificially kept low. The poverty line artificially kept low as well. When in reality the numbers are way bigger. COVID hits, people realize, holy shit, I'm not getting paid what I actually need to survive, or you see that the government is able to hand out more than you've ever made in your life, or something along those lines. Like that's kind of like the thought process, um, and then you realize just how meek that those wages were, and then that's where we are now. The calculus is barely just catching up to what this type of person has been taken advantage of for the longest time. They want you to go back to sleep. They want you to just be like, pay no attention to the man behind the yellow curtain. You know, it's not. I can understand where he's coming from, but you have to understand what your part of this is. You have to understand where you fall in this dynamic, because they're never gonna write this out for you. They're never gonna say, "Oh, like America can put this image of them being so prosperous. And it used to be that we could like the reason why we were so prosperous is because we were basically extracting the wealth from other countries into ourselves, and that's how we basically what's the word something with our standard of living, like we not subsidized, like it's like we outsourced our standard of living almost, like that's not the word either, like we took from like we I've used the word so many times. Like this is what I'm talking about. It's so hard to like on the spot just be like rah rah. But yeah, our standard of living is like an inflated standard of living. We steal resources from other countries. Then the petrodollar comes in, and that really really helps us a lot. Um, so our standard of living has been artificially inflated. In the meantime, they instead of actually like this is my issue. Like I can I have empathy or sympathy. I can relate to the Republicans when they say that the ruling class, but they don't say ruling class. They don't know what they don't really understand what it is. They'll call it the globalists or whatever, but they'll say that they sold out the country to uh China or whatever, and I don't think it's jet relative like China per se. Like it could have been any other country. I think that's just kind of how the where the where it was blooming, I guess. You know, um, so they went over there. They took all the jobs there, helped them bloom, flourish. But it really fucked us here. Like it I don't know if we. I think we could have. The amount of money that's sitting in private islands and private banks, offshore bank accounts and stuff like that is relatively insane. We we squandered an opportunity like from the 70s to now instead of actually building like you see what China's doing right now with they like when we see like those newspapers that say that poverty has been like erased by like 80% or like no like 100 millions like a billion people got like raised out of poverty or like aren't food insecure and stuff like that, that's mostly China. So like instead of doing what they are do like we could have done what they did what they're doing right now. We could have done that years ago. And where we could be right now like societally where we could be um just like in education, like the amount of engineers, like I think right now China's producing the entirety of our engineering corpus is being produced every single year by China. And I think they're outsourcing and they're sending them out to like go like help other countries and stuff like that. And I just think that we could have done something like that. Like, but instead we really really did not. You know, it, and now because we're reaching like some sort of I don't want to like it's so hard to like find where you're at in that like late stage capitalism thing. But like we're like relatively close to the death throes of if not the capitalist system here in the country, at least the monetary system. The monetary system is yeah, it's Chinese moving to U.S. for the education and not vice versa. Yeah, no, that is true. We're not really moving in between the well, yeah, no, they are sending people this way. Uh, but I don't know of too many people that are going over there. I do know one person. His name is Cyrus Jansen. I don't know if you've heard of him. In He's on YouTube. Um, but he was in China for a long time, and he lives in Vegas now. But I think he studied there. He's a really cool. I really enjoy him. Hello, Alola, um, Alola, Alola, like Alola Ninetales. No, that's Alola. Uh, Alala, Olala. Yeah, they pay European teachers to go there for a year. Uh, no, no, no. He went there from a young age. Like he went there as a student. Like it was I think like he's one of those people that like knew what he wanted to do and he just kind of like went and did it. You know, fixed contract. I've always wanted to go there and just teach English. I don't know if I could do it though. It's a big commitment. But yeah, anyways, I I really think that the okay, it's okay. So going back to this, going back to like us and the workers and all that. No, that's just another example of okay, let me write down what I want to say first and then we can talk about this, okay? I don't want to lose my train of thought on this. Uh no, that's just another example of China using EU US education. It just doesn't happen the other way outside of uni cooperation. Uh I mean maybe. Like okay, I don't personally respect IP, copyright. I think it's stupid. I think that idea should proliferate into the system. So I don't really have a problem with them like bringing people in or sending people out. I like if I have something that I know that other people don't know, why wouldn't I want to teach it, you know? Also, how's the delay on this? Am I responding relatively quickly to the messages or because I thought I fixed it, but I might have to like bring um the quality down on this. I mean, the quality is already shit, but you know. Also, I'm a liar. I don't actually wear glasses. I just wanted you guys to think I'm smart. The truth is, I'm a degenerate. Oh, Lala, you're still there. He left. It's okay. Oy. Yeah, but that's just that's like it's like a scarcity mindset, isn't it? Awesome, cool, thank you. Um, like obviously internet like national secrets like should be kept within like the states, but there's this I don't know what the term is called, but it's called like technological convergence, where um you can put a kid from kindergarten to through to fifth grade, and you can put a and then you can have another kid, and that kid can start school at like second or third grade. And I think by fifth grade, there's like a good convergence of like you can't really tell the difference between the person that started in kindergarten and the person that started in third grade, even though the person that started in fifth grade in kindergarten has a kind of like a head start. Once the technologies are introduced to the other person, they can kind of like converge into it in a point. And I think that that's my biggest problem with the way that we go about these issues is while yes, national security things are uh super important, um questions of national security and all that, at the same time, I don't think that if the idea is for them to not have it so they don't figure out how to do it, it's only delaying the inevitable because as soon as they get that technology, then they're gonna meet us where they're at. And in the meantime, you're just antagonizing. You know, you're not like really helping them build because it is scarce. It's stolen investment from the point of view of the country, but it's all stolen investment. Like you can't pretend that one thing is better than the other, or I mean, you could, and I probably listen. Like I said, like things of national security, I will advocate that we keep safe. But as far as technologies go, like 7 nanometer chips and stuff, I really don't think that's. I think that's a war that can't be won. I think technology can't be hidden, especially once you know the technology is possible. Once you know technology is possible, it's very easy to kind of reverse engineer things. So like, I don't think that that's a question. Um, yeah. But why isn't okay? Why is it national security? Like they're not gonna hack you with it. Like that they're going like. I mean, they might hack you with it. I won't lie. They might hack you with it. But that's the game, baby. I don't know. I just it's a losing battle, isn't it? Like, don't you think? Cause like, sure, it's a national security risk, but like, instead of sorry, but that claim is bogus. You can't just reverse engineer chips. It takes years of experience to build the manufacturing base. Mm, I think that claim is bogus. Obviously, it takes years of experience to build the manufacturing base, but like the science is science. You don't get different results. Like unless you're doing something wrong, then you just can tweak it. But if you can get the parts, if you can understand how it works, if you can understand the science, and if you have blatant disregard for IP laws like they do, it's gonna happen. Like it's not. Listen, my point, because I really don't like talking about foreign policy with people because like it's a whole thing. Like my main point with all of this was kind of like getting people to understand like while yes we can focus on foreign policy issues and we can make a boogeyman out of China, there's like my biggest thing was that we have to understand our relationship with the people that actually outsource those jobs to begin with. No, I understand that. There's different places and different like the entire thing is a global market with specialists in different markets and all that in different countries and stuff. But China's a big place, you know, and I think they have all of the material that they need for the resources. I think I'm not entirely sure on that one, but but uh but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they're capable of doing it. They don't. I'm maybe. I I don't see why they wouldn't, but they might not. You know, I disagree with that, but they're buying chips from us because we don't they don't know how to make them yet. That's my point. Like they're going to, but while they're figuring it out, we just keep antagonizing them. So like that's also I'm super happy the delay is like not bad on this. Like that's really good. The other day I had like a 30-second delay and I kept like it was not the best. Also, give me a follow if you want. Uh, I'm not looking for people to agree with me. I'm just looking for people to like from different that have different experience takes and experiences and all that, and we can actually like talk and like shoot the shit about this shit, you know? Were you here for me talking about the engineers? Cuz our entire corpus of engineers that we have inside of the country right now, they're producing every year in China. So like all of the brain power that we have inside of the states right now, they're producing in China. So once they catch up to five, like it's like how would I explain this? Like the thing about science is like you're discovering things, right? And the more brains that you have working on a single problem, you're able to discover these things in science more and more. And that's kind of my point is like we're also we need to focus on education. We really need to be able to bring education back into this country because that's not a we really need to bring STEM back in. We need to help our boys get interested in all this bullshit again because this is not because I'm not saying that this is good. I'm not saying this super gleefully like oh America's fucked and ha 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 rah rah China. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we need to get our shit together because I I don't know how long you've been in this stream, but like my main point with all of this was that for the last 50 years we sent everything to China instead of focusing and investing in our people here. That was my main point. And I really think that we need to start focusing on our shit again, bro, cuz like you feel me? Like cuz if we're able to create 7 nanometer chips right now or have we gotten to 5 millimeter yet? Or 3? But wait, I think it was 2 though, maybe. Okay, fine, fine, fine. Let's say that I'm not completely sold on that idea, but I'm gonna entertain that. Okay, I'm gonna entertain that for a second. We don't give them our secrets. They're still yeah yeah. Um, they're still catching up, even with us putting all these sanctions on them and all that kind of stuff. So what can we do here in the states outside of just uh sanctioning them? Like, what can we do with our population to make sure that we have the talent that we need here in the states outside of outsourcing from other countries and stuff? China design and manufacture. Brain drain from me. Basically, yeah. Maybe like there's a lot of talent within the West. I do agree with that. I think that we got left by the wayside here inside within the states. I think that we need to pay our people more. We need to give them more opportunities to outside of just the work environment to be able to um, find some hobbies and things that they're interested in so that they can actually start becoming interested in things, and then um, they can actually become like members of society. And actually, that's the way US have been doing that with Soviet Union. Yeah. Yeah. And Operation Paperclip, I believe. I think. I'm not sure on that one, but I think. I'm not looking that up to make sure to see if I'm right. I just refreshed the stream, so if you sent something, I did not see it. And also Beacom. That was some time ago. Yeah, like I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing talent from outside another place, but like I wish that I'm not separate. I'm not isolationist. I don't think that we should cut ourselves off completely from the world, but I do think that we need to focus more on our um like China has this saying like that they're like a sleeping dragon that's just waiting to be woken up. And I think that the US is that as well, you know? We but instead we have like a brave new world type of situation here where we just you know, yes, isolated US is dead US, absolutely. I don't like that at all. I just wish that there was like something that could strengthen the dollar a little bit cuz it has been losing reserve currency status. So and the only reason why the dollar's value is so inflated is because of the petrodollar. So you would have to give it some sort of backing or some sort of weight behind it outside of just the petrol dollar to be able to have foreign companies want to invest inside of the US. That was like a note that I wrote a while back. Dollar's iffy, okay? Dollar is iffy at best. Yeah. Yes, in comparison to the euro. Yeah. We did surpass the euro like what was it 2020? Was it 2020? Was it last year that we surpassed the euro? That was pretty funny. But no, like just like as a monetary system, like earlier I was talking about how like the monetary, like I don't want to say late stage capitalism, but the monetary system itself within the US is very stretched out. Like very stretched out. So yeah, I do think that we like maybe manufacturing. I think tech does a big job of weighting the dollar, but I'm outside of those two things, I'm not like a huge. I'm not an economics person, so I don't really know what else goes into it, but those two things for sure. Trade. Like this guy's saying that we need like more unemployment in the country, and I personally think that we need more jobs. Cause like, what's the value of a person with or without an education? What's the value of a population with or without education? What's the value uh of a civilization with or without education? Those two things are massive, and I think that if you can educate the population, if you can have them live at that standard, you know, I think it's. It increases the value of your. I couldn't see a way that it doesn't increase the value um of your country. This is part of the reason why I want to do like I don't want to do debates because it's like your turn, your turn, your turn, your turn. I like conversations where I can be where they can be like, well, think about it this way, because when I'm streaming like this, I'm not thinking of everything, and then it makes me sound like a fucking idiot. Because you think, oh, he doesn't think about this, but if someone were to say, hey, what about this? I'm like, oh yeah, and then I can kind of like get like a bigger picture, and I can kind of riff off that and stuff, Like it's I'm not an idiot. I just don't know things. U.S. is backed by military spending and solid banking. Good enough. Solid banking. Now the military, I will agree with that. That there is value in having a very very strong military, because all political power uh goes through like the through the barrel of a gun or something like that. I don't remember the quote. Certain percentage of poor population is required. Someone needs to do shitty jobs. Not everyone can be Switzerland. But should that be here? Okay, obviously we're still gonna have those shitty jobs. Okay, I'm gonna try to draw something, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. So just bear with me, okay? And I'm gonna hopefully I may have lost it already. We'll see. Okay, what'd you say? Poor population is required, needs to do shitty jobs. Okay, where'd it go? Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay. So this is the poverty line, right? It stayed relatively the same, going up just a little bit, over time. You could say this would be like homelessness. It's like relatively stagnant, and then it like just like shoots up more and more and more, like at a faster rate. This is time. This is the time axis. Yeah, words. Um, so homelessness keeps getting worse. The poverty line doesn't stay. It doesn't move. The quality of life diminishes over time. What else? I had the picture. I had the picture in my head. Um, so like okay, so I think this is the issue right here, okay? I'm not saying that we need to have poor uh that we don't need like a poor population. Like that it's ridiculous. Not everybody can be rich. I'm not saying that. My point is this right here. I think that the standard of living has gone down, and I think the homeless thing has gone up while the poverty line has stayed the same. These issues, I think this one right here, the standard of living, is one that gets increasingly harder to achieve over time, and especially with like everything going away overseas and stuff. Um, so we have no rising wages. I think the uh, federal The median salary or something like that. Like no, median wage for per hour hasn't changed for quite some time. The poverty line hasn't changed for quite some time. So if we were to say that the banks are solid, Yame in comparison to South America, Oceania Island, and most of Asia is in much worse condition. I don't know too much about their banking systems. I might have to look that up uh, offline because I like to get my opinions before I actually just spew things to you guys. Um, but if the banking system is solid, like the military is solid, I will give you that. But if our banking system is solid, well, not even just the banking system, this is a whole like this is the whole macroeconomic fucking situation. And no, it's not solid. Uh, like that they're mostly upside down with fucking their bonds and shit. They okay. One thing that I think is like really silly. I'll let's see. Biggest bank failure. Okay. I thought they got surpassed already. Hmm. Okay. So right here, they were like everybody was freaking out over this. Like in 2023, March, March, May. Um, so everybody was freaking out over these quantities in the bail. In the like it's one of the biggest failures inside of our country. Um, but like I don't think that they like accounted for inflation with this because like it's like I don't know if you guys were paying attention like during COVID, like how much money was moving around the economy, but it was an insane amount of money, like an insane amount of money. Like, you really got to see how much money is out there. um, but yeah. So like these, like to me, this is they're big numbers. Don't get me wrong, but like this type of money was getting thrown around like by the day, by the week, by the yeah. It also happened in Switzerland. Yeah. Uh, chill out, Olala. Chill. It's cool. We're all friends here. Much love. I just like to make my points, you know? Can a man talk? Can a man grill? I just want to grill. Drink a beer with the boys. Overthrow the bourgeois. Simple things. Banking services is still a leading position of country GDP. Obviously, like we need them. Like they're an inherently like they're integral to the plumbing of a country, just like a military is, just like what was the other one I just had and then I lost it. Um, I forget. But yeah, banking, tech, like these are like Bezos basically has the entire infrastructure. Like he is replacing in some sense the UPS and like other mail delivery stuff. Like he has the entire infrastructure of I don't know how many packages he's like flying up like above us at any given moment, you know? Like it's just like fucking dots everywhere. But he has that infrastructure. Like he's like the fucking Oh, I had a meme the other day. I can't. I don't remember what it was, but it was like it was like Bezos is Zeus. Did I spell that right? No. Bezos is Zeus. Uh, no, 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 no. Fuck. What was it? It was a good fucking meme. Fuck. Um, okay, I found it, and apparently I only wrote Bezos is Zeus on it. I didn't even finish it, so let's just disregard that, okay? Okay, so just because a banking service is still the leading position of the country's GDP does not mean that the monetary system isn't stretched to shit. Okay? Like that, like, it's, the dollar has lost like 99% of its value in the last like 50 years. Uh, like you could buy an ounce of gold for like $20 before, and now it's like 2000, I think, around there. It's about 2000. Uh, so like just in that alone, it's like you can see right there that the value's deflated. Housing is another one. You know, you can't like the value of the dollar has gone down through inflation, through bad policy, through all these things. You know, what they won't tell you is inflation is a policy. Haha. Until it's not. You ever gonna follow me, bro? I'll cry if you don't. I don't care. I care a little, okay? Well, it doesn't mean anything if you have assets. If you don't have assets, and then it does mean something. Because that's food. That's um, the people that are living paycheck to paycheck, which are the people that we were talking about above, you know, that need to clean, do the shitty jobs. Um, those people are the ones that get affected by it. And purchasing power does affect those people. If you have assets, no, because the value of that asset. Like if you have an ounce of gold, sure, that's gonna retain its value through and through. But everybody else, you know, and we go back to the poverty line. The poverty line hasn't fucking moved, so like you can't even know how bad things are getting because it's left so fucking up in the air with everything. So I should really start working out. This is not. There is no alternative to American banking as long as it's an American industry you're working with. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I don't know if if this is a situation that can be resolved anymore. I'm just trying to tell people where it's at. You know, I'm not sure that we can go back. I think that we could have set things in motion 50, 40 years ago. You know, to date. But instead of that, we had quantitative easing. We had easy money. We had um, subprime mortgage loans. We had all of these things that we treated our monetary system like it was a joke at the expense of us to make some people rich. I'm not saying that we can't that it can be fixed or like there's an alternative to the banking system or anything like that. I'm just saying know who your enemies are. Why did someone come into the room as I was eating? That's not cool. I'm hungry. Leave me alone. Okay, I'm back. Two slices. Thank you for keeping me company, bro. I was just kind of rambling. It was about some. I had a point to make, but this is I like this too. I enjoy it. Oh my god, that's a ring. Yeah, but did they have as much easy money policies as we did? Like this, as far as like quantitative easing goes and stuff, like printing money. So that did it in 2016. No, 2015. So they started in 2015. I think we started in 2008. Cause easy money devalues the currency because the inflation isn't so much inflation is more to do with the supply and liquidity of the money than it is to the inflation itself. The inflation is kind of like a side effect if they can't suck it back up back into the system, which they can't do with a quantitative easing cycle. They can do it with a quantitative tightening cycle, but the amount of money that they printed through COVID was relatively insane. Um, yeah, so we went from what's this in billions? So we went from trillion to 21. Yeah, quite a bit. Like a lot of and then we like started to this is when the quantitative tightening started, and then we started like sucking it up. But like inflation is just this right here because all this money has to go somewhere. It doesn't just disappear unless it's going into those private banks, those private offshore accounts and stuff, which I'm sure a whole bunch of it did, but um, it still bleeds into the economy. It still bleeds into um, the system. So when they print money, that's why that's why $20 can't buy you an ounce of gold anymore. Basically, not just this. Obviously, like there's a whole bunch of factors. Don't y'all love to latch on to like just one thing that I get wrong? But obviously, I know like, but does that make sense though? I'm so used to people interrupting me. What happened to my vape? I've been streaming for an hour and a half because I deleted one that I accidentally doxed my friend in. I fucked my fucking For You page because oh no. Man. Oh! I will see you guys later. And by later, I mean in 1 minute.